really, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for your contributions, your donations.
Welcome everybody to the Pittsburgh Sarcoma Annual Run and Walk. My name is Rothaus. I'm a survivor and a team captain of Never Mind the Bullets. Let's Cure Sarcoma. And I would like to welcome all the other survivors and people supporting the survivors and the people that are battling and all the people that are just supporting this wonderful cause. Thank you for coming out today.
I'm Mark Goodman, retired orthopedic oncologist and board president of this organization. I'd like to thank you all for coming out. More important, I'd like to thank you for your support. Since founding in 2011, we have passed the $2 million mark in support from researchers here and around the country. The event today is a landmark for us. We have crossed the $250,000 mark for just this one event. We can only do it because of your support and your belief that we're going to get this thing beaten. I want to thank you again for coming out, for being with us on all the other events as well. And I'd like to welcome our singing and dancing sailor, who will warm us up, Casey Kilroy.
All right, we are ready to start the rest of our program. I'm back. I'm your warm-up queen. My name is Casey Kilroy, and I am on the committee today. And I came here because my mom is a survivor. She's 20 years this year, 20 years survivor. And it's my honor to donate my time for this amazing cause. And if you did not know, Pittsburgh Cure Sarcoma is 100% volunteer-led. 100%. We give our time, our talent for you, so nobody with our organization is paid. So thank you so much for being here today. One of the other things that I get to do besides warm you up is I am your corporate sponsorship chair. So I help all of the corporations and the companies and the businesses that so generously donate to our organization. I help keep them organized and talk to them and bring new ones in. So at this time, I want to just take a moment to say their names out loud so we can recognize them for their generous contributions to our organization. Without them, we would not be at the record-breaking donation levels that we are today. So, without further ado, I'd like to give special recognition and thanks to our diamond sponsors. These are $10,000 and above sponsors, these corporations who so generously donated. We have West Virginia University Medicine, Energy Harbor, Western Edge Seafood, the UPMC Health Plan, and UPMC Hillman Cancer Center. Our platinum sponsors are $5,000 and above. Our platinum sponsors are the Wall Family Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Texas Roadhouse. You'll get to eat their good food today. And also, Allegheny Health Network with Highmark Health. Those are our platinum sponsors at $5,000 and above, so thank you so much. And also would like to take an opportunity to say thank you to our gold sponsors. Gold sponsors are $2,500 and above. They include Centimark, Sargent Electric, Forvis, First National Bank, Hanger Clinic, Zimmer Biomet, Apex Surgical, Pitt, Ohio, Tri-State Trailer Sales, and the Pittsburgh City Paper, who's our media sponsor. So thank you so much to all of our corporate sponsors. Without you, we would not be where we are today. All right, without further ado, I'd like to turn the microphone over to Sue Suit, the race director, and she's going to recognize our top teams. Sue.
Good morning. Welcome everybody to coming out this morning. But the weather was kind of unpredictable, so we're very thankful that everybody's in attendance. I'd like to announce all of the teams at some point, but right now we're going to recognize Texas Roadhouse, who has been a sponsor from day one in 2011. So I'd like to call Jason Fye up. They make it an annual event, and we appreciate it, and they're just great people to work with. So, love you.
Thank you, sir. We love you too. One of our favorite days of the year.
So everybody, make sure you go. And the sponsor is from the Monaca Texas Roadhouse. So when you're out visiting or out running around, make sure you visit and support the location in Monaca.
Bridgeville supports us too.
Bridgeville, also Bridgeville. Thank you so much. So I would, like I said, I would have liked to announce all the teams, but obviously we're under a time restraint here. So we're going to do like the top 10 teams with the fundraising goals. So Team Danielle was number 1, and then it's Dan and Deb's Disease Destroyers. Team Luke Strong, Never Mind the Bullet, Let's Cure Sarcoma. Never Tell Me the Odds. Team Check-Its, Team PSARC, Bloomers Believers, AHN, Team Tumor, Team Nikki, Sarcoma Slayers, Barb's Bunch, Macaulay, Team Mitch, Gabby's Crew, John's Backside Backers, and Team Kathy B. There's 60, I think there were 65 teams this year. So we do appreciate all your loyal support, and for continued success of this event, we need you to participate from here going forward. So thank you very much. Enjoy your day.
All right, just go. Just go. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Kurt Weiss, sarcoma surgeon, survivor, scientist. First of all, I want to thank everybody for being here, obviously, for supporting the Tumor Registry and Tissue Bank. But my job today is to introduce our celebrity starter, Dr. Anette Duensing. So just a few words on Dr. Duensing. There are exactly 2 people on planet Earth that are both founding members of Pittsburgh Cure Sarcoma and the Pittsburgh Sarcoma Research Collaborative, and Anette is one of them. Yes. It's difficult to believe that when I came to Pitt in 2010, Anette had already been here, and sarcoma research in the city of Pittsburgh was basically me, Anette, and a few cell lines. And she has helped to build all of this, both with PCS and the Pittsburgh Sarcoma Research Collaborative. She is sadly, our loss is their gain, going to be the director of oncology division at the University of Heidelberg, which is a huge job, and we're really proud of her. And yes, for sure. So Anette, on behalf of everybody here over a decade with PCS and with the PSARC, we can't thank you enough, and we wish you the best. Don't forget about your friends in Pittsburgh.
All right. Okay, thank you, Kurt. You don't have to leave. I'm the one leaving Pittsburgh, but the world is global now, so I won't be away. We will still see each other, and this will be a slow goodbye. I will still be here on and off until the next year. And my job is maybe not as big as Kurt said, but I'm going to be a division chief for precision oncology at the University Clinic in Heidelberg. Anyway, thank you so much for coming. This is a huge event. We all could not do what we're doing currently in the research without you. And I just went down memory lane, and I wanted to share really quickly a few things that I found in my office when I started clearing it out. So in 2003, when I came, it was basically me. There was not even a specialized sarcoma medical oncologist, or, well, Dr. Goodman was here, obviously, as a surgeon, but there was no team. Since then, we've come to this. We started...
Hello again, everybody. We are here to welcome a special guest, Slayter, who is not quite here yet, but on the way. Slayter is a four-legged survivor, well, actually now a three-legged survivor, a dog that has benefited from sarcoma research. And I'm going to give the microphone to Dr. Goodman to talk a little bit about that.
Large animals are prone to get sarcomas, much like human beings, and they tend to respond in a similar fashion. We are now expanding our research to include veterinary research in hopes that the canine population will give us some more insight into sarcoma, how it happens, how we can prevent it, and how we can cure it. So Slayter is our survivor and our face, so to speak, to the veterinary world into which we're expanding our research. So we're going to play the video for Slayter while the runners gather to start the race. So let's run.
There you go. There he loves doing it. A roommate and I got Slayter sophomore year of college. Slayter was with us every day. I mean, he was at every party in college. We took him everywhere with us. We always took him on campus. He loved people. Slayter had a slight limp, and we kind of assumed that it was from when he just kind of jumped off the bed too many times that day, or, you know, just kind of sprained something. So, you know, we took him to the vet, and she was pretty sure that it was like early, you know, signs of having the osteosarcoma cancer in his shoulder. It makes you start to think about having to say like goodbye to your dog, which is obviously never a great thing to think about. So it was kind of heavy, you know? So yeah, we found out and she passed us along to the specialists at PVSEC.
My name is Pedro Rivera. I'm a second-year surgery resident at Pittsburgh Veterinary Specialty and Emergency Center. I currently treat both canine and feline patients, anything for soft tissue and orthopedic conditions, both elective and emergent. Sarcoma is the most common primary bone tumor that we see in dogs. What we do for diagnosis is essentially obtaining radiographs. Radiographs gives us actually a presumptive diagnosis because 85% or more of these aggressive bone lesions that we see are going to be, unfortunately, osteosarcoma. When it comes to treatment for these animals, we have anything from base pain management. We can escalate to local treatments like radiation therapy, where we focus the beam at the area where the bone is affected, or we can consider doing surgery. Surgery has two tiers. We can consider amputation, where we are actually removing the entire limb. The other would be limb-sparing surgery, where we're actually removing the piece of bone.
So it seemed like the main treatment for it was amputation. The vet assured us that it was going to be harder for us than it was for him, that he would adapt. We decided to go for it and we got the amputation. It was hard to see him at first, but I mean, he walked out of there the next day by himself, and he's 100 and some pounds, so, you know, I wasn't carrying him. And that kind of gave me hope, you know, because he walked into the house, he walked outside to go to the bathroom, you know, in a couple weeks he was walking up the stairs.
Most of these animals will cope very well after surgery on being on three legs. They can run, they can play, they can snuggle, they can be the good old dog they used to be before. It's been an honor to be part of this great study. Essentially, it's a partnership between Pittsburgh Veterinary Specialty Hospital and also Dr. Weiss Osteosarcoma Research Group. Our partnership is based on we obtain the samples, normal bone, cancer bone, and also blood. If we can learn more about this cancer based on what we learn on dogs, and if we can actually try the different treatments and see how patients respond, and we can hopefully translate that to the humans and the kids down the road.
The dog model of osteosarcoma is the best model of osteosarcoma that exists on planet Earth. It is far superior in every way imaginable to the mouse models that we use and to the cell cultures we use. I was able to find some veterinary oncologists at the Pittsburgh Veterinary Specialty and Emergency Center in the North Hills who treat canine osteosarcoma. And we reached out to them, and to find that they were really excited about collaborating with us in research
is just fantastic. And it's been a wonderful partnership that we certainly hope to develop over the years.
So why are dogs a great model to study osteosarcoma? First of all, the incidence. Dogs are 27 times higher the frequency of having osteosarcoma as compared to humans. That means that we can gather more samples in a reasonable time, and also the longevity of the dog as compared to humans. We can actually do treatment trials and see how the disease will behave throughout the life of the dog as compared to a human. The progression of the disease is very similar. It starts in the bone and it spreads in the lungs. The cost is typically a little bit cheaper to do studies in canines rather than in humans. The environment, these animals, they share the same environment as us, so we can hopefully eliminate certain environmental factors. So it's a win-win situation. We are actually helping them, and also they're helping us by obtaining these samples and helping us learn more about this disease.
When Slayter and I were at the vet for the appointment to schedule the surgery, and I was signing all the paperwork, they asked me if they could donate his leg, and I just asked them why, and they told me it's because they send it down for research, and they actually use it to try to research off of for children and for adults that have osteosarcoma. So, you know, of course I said yes. To think that that could go to the research to help human beings too was awesome. I didn't see why anybody would say no to that question.
So people should care about the Pittsburgh Cure Sarcoma because we are gathering funds to essentially promote further research so we can actually understand how this cancer behaves, so we can actually find a cure one day and improve the quality of life of not only your kids, but also dogs. I'm also in line for a grant. So your contribution to Pittsburgh Cure Sarcoma, it's going to elevate science and hopefully find us some answers. For centuries, dogs have joined us humans in our travels as man's best friend. So it's only fitting that we value dogs as our companions in our journey for scientific discovery.
Yeah, so he's the same Slayter, 3 legs. We just weren't ready to say goodbye to him yet. And you know, this gave us, I mean, he's been the same dog just a couple months after, you know, losing a leg, and that was awesome for us. It was worth every penny for us then, you know. Just a couple months after, you know, losing a leg, and that was awesome for us. It was worth every penny for us then, you know.
We have the arrival of our honored guest here, Slayter, who is an osteosarcoma survivor. Gets around on his 3 legs pretty well.
He does, yeah.
All right, have you noticed any changes in him?
No, he's doing great. He's a year and a half in, and he wakes up every day and no problems, and yeah, it's a real blessing.
Well, we're so glad that he's here and participating and that he's doing well. We look forward to seeing him on a yearly basis as we go through the race. Slayter, thank you for coming.
Thank you, Slayter.
All right. We are now going to hear from our researchers, Dr. Ben Nacev. Ben, you want to come up and take the mic and give the folks a little bit of information about what's going on in sarcoma research?
Absolutely. Good morning, everybody. My name is Ben Nacev. I'm a sarcoma medical oncologist and a sarcoma physician scientist. I run a basic research lab, really trying to understand what goes wrong in sarcoma cells so that we can better understand how to bring new treatments back to the clinic. So I'm brand new to Pittsburgh. I joined the Hillman Cancer Center last fall, and this is my very first Pittsburgh Cure Sarcoma event. I'm blown away by the amount of support and energy that's here, and it's really wonderful to be a part of it. I also have to thank the Pittsburgh Cure Sarcoma community for supporting our research. The very first funding my lab received after moving to the University of Pittsburgh was a Pittsburgh Cure Sarcoma grant, which is really allowing us to look at some changes that happen in the DNA of sarcoma cells to understand how they might be influencing biology, again with the ultimate goal of using that knowledge to bring new treatments back to the clinic. So it's really fantastic to be part of such an amazing organization and look forward to continuing to work with the sarcoma community here in Pittsburgh moving forward. Many thanks. I'm turning it back over to Dr. Goodman. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. We're glad to have you in Pittsburgh, and we look forward to lots of news about research at the basic science level.
Absolutely.
Great. And we are looking for Dr. Ines Lohse. Is she anywhere about? Dr. Weiss, she's making her way, so hang with us for a minute. There she is. Dr. Lohse is in the lab with Dr. Weiss, and will give us co-director. I stand corrected. All right, young lady, would you be kind enough to bring your mommy up here? Thank you. All right, the mic is yours.
Sounds scary. Okay. Hi, my name is Ines Lohse, and I'm a scientist at the Hillman Cancer Center. Today actually marks our 6th month here, so this is a very nice welcome for us. Sorry. We were running to the start race already because somebody couldn't really wait for it. Sarcoma research is incredibly important. If we think about the fact that dinosaurs already had osteosarcoma, we are really not making as much progress as we should have. So these community events are very important for us as scientists to connect with the patients, with all of the advocates, and show you what we actually do. And also to get input from you as to what we should be doing with our research time. So thank you for having us, and enjoy the run. Let's go.
Young lady, thank you.
Yes. In addition to this fantastic walk that we do every year, we do virtual beer events. We started, what, 2 years ago? 3 years ago. They're wonderful. They're fun. We try to highlight local brewers. We just did one with Levity Brewing, which was a wonderful time. If you're interested in those, we'd love to have you join us, drink some good beer. If you would like to have us reach out to a local brewer, we would welcome that and maybe partner with them for the next beer event, which will be in the fall, I believe, right?
The next beer event is slated for October 17th. We do not yet have a brewer, as Rod has said, but the way it works is you sign up. We deliver to your house if you're within 25 miles of downtown Pittsburgh, 4 beers, snacks, a little bit of bling, and then we sit on a video at home and learn about the 4 beers. We get a survivor story. We listen to a researcher tell us what they're doing and where the money that we raise at these events is going. And then unfortunately you have to listen to me doing a board report, and then we have the last beer so you can forget having to listen to me. But it's at home, it's safe, it's fun, it's a great hour and a half of time. So please join us. We do have a couple of our survivor stories up online for you to watch at this time. So the first video is that of the last beer event. It's the story of Lora O'Brien. Lora was a patient of mine going back to 1981. And I'm proud to say she's here and still talking about how we've been together for over 40 years. So we will now cut over to the video and Lora's story. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Lora, and this is my story. My story is one of longevity. I am 41 plus years post-diagnosis. My childhood was normal. I danced, I rode bikes, I played softball, we went on family vacations, we went camping. It was just a typical, awesome childhood. We moved to Bethel Park when I was in 6th grade, and it was the summer after freshman year, so it was 1981, and I just started to notice a pain in my right calf muscle that hadn't really been there before. And one day I was at my aunt's house and I asked her to feel it because I felt something in my leg that was kind of round and hard. And so she felt it and was sort of taken aback, didn't know what it was. She told my parents about it, and we scheduled an appointment with the family doctor. We had a family vacation scheduled coming up, and he said, go on the vacation, it's fine. Came back from that vacation and went back to the family doctor, and nothing had really changed. And so I met Dr. Kelly, and Dr. Kelly admitted me to do a biopsy. So I went to Mercy Hospital, and I was in for 10 days, and they did the biopsy and then just a myriad of other tests. He had called them into the office and told them that he suspected that it was a malignant tumor in my right calf muscle called rhabdomyosarcoma. Soft muscle tumors are rare to begin with, and then this was a fraction of a percentage of that. And so he sent me home for a week, and I went to see Dr. Goodman on a Thursday. And so he explained that it was a large tumor, about the size of a softball. And so he said there were two options. We could remove the tumor and rebuild that muscle, and that it would probably be back by the time I was 16 and I would probably not survive. Or we could do an above-knee amputation, follow it up with a chemotherapy protocol, and my odds were, a lot better. And I said, yeah. I said, I have a lot of things that I want to do. I want to do the surgery, I want to do the amputation. And I walked through the tunnel from Fall Clinic into Presbyterian Hospital, and we had the surgery the next morning. And Dr. Goodman always laughed, and he said, it was your adolescent angst. He said, you were just on a mission and on a path. And he said, I really, I've lost patients who have hesitated. And he said it was full steam ahead. I had the surgery for the amputation, and about 3.5 weeks later, at the end of September, I did my first chemo treatment. I did my full treatment at Presbyterian Hospital. The staff on Unit 12-3 is where my chemo was, and they were incredible. Those people became family, too. Presbyterian was my home away from home for those 2 years.
Lora is somebody who never used the fact that she had lost her leg as an excuse for anything. As a matter of fact, she made a point to make it not an excuse for anything.
I have done what I wanted to do. I went to Pitt. I got my bachelor's degree in elementary ed, went back to school and got my master's degree. I went back to school again, and I got certified as a national board certified teacher. And I went back to school again and got my elementary principal certification. I love teaching. I love everything about it. So I taught school for 34 years. I just retired in June, and I thought, I miss doing stuff with school and kids. So I tutor, and I also work at a local learning center. Dr. Goodman said that was just your whole mindset from the beginning. Let's just do this and keep moving forward.
Can't even begin to tell you the number of kids whose lives she's touched. You can't count it.
So I met Lora 17 years ago. I've really gotten to know her pretty well. She's not going to not do things because she only has one leg. She's very determined not to have this ruin her life.
I actually have a journal that one of my middle school teachers gave to me, and she put an inscription in the front, and she just said, you know, everybody has a story to tell, and the best stories to tell are your stories. I wanted to do my best in stuff, so I think it was just a drive inside. You know, this was something that was unexpected. You know, it's part of my story, but it wasn't the biggest part of my story. It was just part of the story. Dr. Goodman is, I call him my hero. There was one time, it was probably 20 years ago, and I said something about coming to see him every year. And he said, you do realize that I stopped needing to see you probably 10 years ago. And he said, you're just kind of cool to hang out with. And a few years after that, I asked him at that point, if I came to you today with the same exact scenario that I did back in 1981, would the outcome have been different? And he said, no. When he retired a few years ago, he continued to call me, and he told me about Pittsburgh Cure Sarcoma. And he said, I really would love for you to get involved. So here I am now. I am excited about PCS. I've already met some awesome people, but I've jumped in. So I'm helping with, you know, newsletter articles and things like that. Looking forward to the first race in June to go to. I hope that my story can help PCS in its mission to get people motivated. I want the answer to the question, you know, would it be different today? I want that answer to be yes. It's different today because the research is there. If my story and other people that have gone through it helps turn that last page, then it's all worth it.
Welcome back to the park, all of you who are on our virtual feed. Most of the people have departed from the area here. The walkers and runners are out on the course, and I would expect that our runners will be back pretty soon because some of them are pretty swift. In the meantime, we're still entertaining a fair number of people. The weather is holding, although it's overcast, and I'm going to turn this over to Rod to introduce the next of our Survivor videos.
Welcome back. We're going to talk about Gabbi Plassmeyer, who's going to be our next video. Gabbi is our youngest survivor. She was a gymnast and is now into softball and could not be here today because she is actually in a softball tournament. But we would love for you to stay tuned right now and watch this wonderful video of a wonderful young woman. And we adore her, and I'm sure you will adore her too. Gabbi Plassmeyer.
Hi, I'm Josh Plassmeyer, and I'm Gabby's dad.
And I'm Sheila Plassmeyer, and I am Gabby's mom. And our story started when she was about 6.
Six-ish.
She came to us because she had a little bump on her finger. She actually brought it to her attention that it actually hurt her. So we did take her to the pediatrician, and he suggested that we go to a surgeon and have it biopsied just to be safe.
We went to the plastic surgeon who was going to remove the lump from her finger. The surgery went off without a hitch. She did very well under the anesthesia. Unfortunately, after that surgery, the biopsy came back, and while everything was told to us initially that it was a benign tumor, unfortunately it was not.
My name's Gabby. I go to Cleveland Stewart Gateway. So it hurt the most on bars. Whenever I went to grab the bar, I would kind of let go of the bar with my finger, so I would have to hold it like that. We went to the doctor to see what it was, and they diagnosed it as epithelioid sarcoma.
So when they came to us and said that it is cancer, I mean, it was devastating, absolutely devastating. But we knew, as strong as she is, she's a fighter.
Our next steps, really after all of that information, was to go to Children's. And this is when Gabbi's scans started. We had to get confirmation of margins and where it was located, if it went anywhere else, if it metastasized.
Right before her surgery, the nurse came over and actually whispered to Josh, her blood pressure's a little high. And her comment back was, well, yeah, I'm nervous. I'm gonna get my finger cut off. So at that point, it's like, yeah, Gabbi's still Gabbi. But Gabbi was amazing after her surgery. It took her a little bit to get out of her anesthesia, but I don't remember if it was that night or the next day, she was up riding a tricycle in the hallway. That little girl has no fear for anything. And she was worried about, not being able to go directly back to gymnastics. And I think it was honestly like 3 weeks max. And she was back.
I was really, really, really scared. And I asked my doctor, would I be able to do gymnastics again? He said, probably. It was harder because I was out for a few months and I was getting used to doing everything again.
She was most nervous about not being able to do gymnastics anymore, not be able to compete. But her strength and her determination and her willingness to beat this really showed through at that time.
And we definitely want to thank Kurt Weiss,
Dr. Rapkin, and her entire surgical and oncology teams.
Were amazing.
Who just treated her like a piece of gold. It made our lives a lot easier during this time. It made her life a lot easier during this time. We just appreciate everyone that helped out.
And living here in Pittsburgh, like Josh said, having everything at our fingertips is amazing. And that's actually how we got involved with PCS as well. Dr. Kurt Weiss was her surgeon. And when we had met with him several times prior to the surgery, Josh and I wanted to be involved.
Sheila and I were looking for a way to connect with others that were going through a similar story than us. We wanted to be able to have a support group, someone to talk to, someone to help fight this with. And Pittsburgh Cure Sarcoma was the group that we found. The group has been amazing since then. We are actively involved in the race committee and many other aspects involved with Pittsburgh Cure Sarcoma. And we just appreciate everyone's support and love from that group for now and forever.
We're back at the park and our runners are coming in. First one came in about 3 or 4 minutes ago. So it must be a good swift course. We'll see the rest of them coming as the morning progresses. And we will continue with the live stream at this point with a story about somebody named Rothaus. And I'll let Rod tell you about it.
Who could that be? Hi there. In 2014, I was diagnosed with Ewing sarcoma in my spine. And over a year later, I was considered a survivor. And it was a hell of a battle. And I joined the Pittsburgh Cure Sarcoma that first year. Was a hairless wonder and participated in this wonderful event for the first time. And I started this team. Let me do a shameless plug here. Never mind the Bullocks, let's cure sarcoma, which personally I think is the best name of any of these teams, but that's just me. Anyway, I guess my video's coming up, right, Mark?
That's correct, Rod.
All right, well, I hope you enjoy it. Thank you. Hi, guys. I'm Rod Rothaus. I'm a Ewing sarcoma survivor. My story actually begins on June 23rd, 2014, when I was finally diagnosed with Ewing sarcoma. You know, I went into the emergency room because my lower back had been hurting for 6 weeks, only to find out that Not only did I have a broken back, but I had cancer. And I needed immediate surgery. I ended up at AGH Hospital, and this wonderful neurosurgeon who repaired my spine, my T10 vertebrae, and tried to dig out what he could of the tumor that was in my back. I got in with Hillman Cancer Center with Dr. Hussein Tabi. The thing about Dr. Hussein Tabi, he said to me, I think you have small blue cell Ewing sarcoma. And then he said something to me that was very profound. He said, I know what you have, and I'm gonna save your life. And as much as my head was exploding at the time, it got me that faith to say, okay, you know, and put my trust in Dr. Hussein Tabi. I was originally told it was only going to be 3 months of chemo, 2 different kinds. Now I was hit with, it's going to be 9 months, 5 different kinds. So what do you do there? Here's what I realized, and it took a while. You have to beat this. You don't have a choice. You have to go through this. That's it. You have these children that you love. You have these parents that you love. You have these friends that you love. You have this job that you care about. This is what I thought about, and it was amazing. I don't know how I came about this, but I realized, well, you do it one day at a time. You do it one day at a time. So that's what I did. Each treatment I had, 12 hours, by the way. Each one of my treatments was a 12-hour treatment. Well, okay, what am I gonna do? Go into the hospital, did my treatment. I read a lot of books. I made a lot of friends on Instagram. And I realized that one day I'd wake up and it would be like, it's over. To make a long story short, I did 12 months of chemotherapy. And one day I found out, hey, this is your last day. I'm 5+ years chemo-free. That's a great feeling. Even when I was in treatment, even while I was still in my first treatment, you know, I got hooked up with the Pittsburgh cure sarcoma from Dr. Hussein Tabi, Kurt Weiss, and Sue Sood, and all the others that started this wonderful organization. And I started this team. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's, you know, never mind the bullocks, let's cure sarcoma. Available on Teespring. What a great idea to bring attention to sarcomas, because, you know, as Dr. Tabi taught me, sarcomas are rare, 1% of the cancers. I had Ewing sarcoma. There's not a lot of research for that. So the PCS, Pittsburgh Cure Sarcoma, we do a lot of work to bring attention and bring research dollars for this. All the time, Dr. Tabi would come to visit me. He was always accompanied by Dr. Missy Burgess. He took me aside one day and he let me know that he was moving on to a new place. He was going to be going on to MD Anderson. He said something very pointedly to me. He said, you know, Rod, I wasn't going to leave this place unless Hillman guaranteed that they replaced me with Missy, because Missy's always been with me. Missy is the greatest, and the two of them are the ones that saved my life.
Haley's Comments. Team Rachel Twig, Susan Saw, Heroic Heath, Laura's Crew, Laura's Team, Team J. Ford, Anya's Army. Team Petcure, Saxon's Warriors. Team Missy, Cindy's Cancer Crushers. We also want to give a shout out to some of our other corporate and small business sponsors, including Calling It a Pittsburgh, Ohio Pal Coffee Roasters, Allegheny County Medical Society, West Advisory Group, J.C. Dooley, Dreyer Physical Therapy Institute, Interiors on Pleasant, Dongali Heating and Air Conditioning, Eaton Park, Minio's Pizza House, Bonnie Loya Real Estate, William Francis Allo Charitable Foundation, and the Rothaus family. Thank you very much for all your charitable donations.
All right, everybody. We're going to start with the under 15 age group. Women under 15. Holy mackerel, how many Fredericks do we have here? Grace Frederick, Michaela Buchis, Ella Frederick, Addison Buchis. I see a lot of similarities here. And Jody Strachik. So first is Gracie, then Michaela, then Ella, then Addison, and Josie. Thank you, ladies. Great job. All right, gentlemen. What? Okay. So gentlemen under 15, that's going to be, got it, thank you. Going to be Drew Reith-Miller, Scott Sorge or Sorgi, and Henry Hall. Drew, Scott, and Henry. Thanks, guys. Great job. Okay. So 15 to 19. Should I just keep going? Just keep going. All right. I'm just going to keep going. Okay. So women. Sorry for all the back and forth. 15 to 19. That's going to be in first place Elizabeth Kefalis, Maria Silvaggio, who works in my lab. All right, Maria. And Gwendolyn Barkovich. Elizabeth, Maria, Gwendolyn. Great job, ladies. Men, 15 to 19. Jackson Presto. You knew with a name like Presto he was going to be fast. Garrett Phipps and Tanner Dowdy. Jackson, Garrett, and Tanner. Come on down. Great job. First. All right. Moving along. Women, 20 to 29. Julie Shelby. In first place, Kelsey Wilkins and Christina Martinez. Julie Selby, Kelsey Wilkins, Christina Martinez. Great job. Thank you. Men, 20 to 29. Corey Obringer, Hunter Hutchinson, and Joshua Williams. Corey, Hunter, and Josh. Men, 20 to 29. Thank you. Should I keep going? Are we keeping up? Looks like we're keeping up. Okay. Women, 30 to 39. In first place, Lacey Thurner. Second place, Katie Helbling. And third place, Sarah Williams. Lacey Thurner, Katie Helbing, and Sarah Williams. Great job, ladies. All right, men, 30 to 39. Brad Beggs, Drew Sherba, Cameron Bucharin, or Bucharin. So that's Brad Beggs, Drew Sherba, and Cameron Bucharin. Thanks, guys. Women, 40 to 49. Lauren Richmond. In second place, Samantha Kormanik. In third place, Jessica Redinger-Litke. Lauren Richmond, Samantha Kormanik, and Jessica Redinger-Litke. You ready for men?
I have 60 to 69.
Men 50 to 59. 40 to 49, sorry. Men 40 to 49. Sure you want me doing your surgery when I can't count? John Richmond in first place. Christopher Williams second. Chris McCoy third. John Richmond, Christopher Williams, Chris McCoy. Men 40 to 49. Great job, guys. Women 50 to 59. Lori Laurenti. Second place, Nancy Foley, and third place, Christine Sherrar. Lori Laurenti in first place, Nancy Foley. Second place, Christine Sherrar, third place. Thank you, ladies. Okay, men, 50 to 59. If I'm going too fast, you gotta just tell me. That's gonna be Tom Pedalino, Mark Malazzi, or Melozzi, and Joe Newman in third. Tom Pedalino in first, Mark Malazzi in second, Joe Newman third. Thanks, guys. Okay, women 60 to 69. Sherry Greenberg, first place. Woohoo! Janet Pudlow in second place. Anita Turner third. All right. So that's Sherry Greenberg, Janet Pudlow, and Anita. Great job, ladies. Okay. Men, 60 to 69. Mike Zizan, or Zizan, David Zimniski, is that close-ish? Great job, sir. And Rob Ferguson, third. Mike Zizan, or Zizan, David, and Rob Ferguson. All right. All right, women 70 and up. Linda Pilipovich. Second place, Sue Botsford. And third place, Cindy Lesker. Linda Pilipovich, Sue Botsford, and Cindy Lesker. Thank you for being here. Okay, men 70 and up. Dean Jensen. Second place is Tom Gorka. Third place, Terry Mellis, or Melis. Dean Jensen, Tom Gorka, Terry Mellis. Thank you, gentlemen. And thank you, everybody, for coming out in here and sweating with us and for us.
So can we get the following people up here? Caden Reithmiller, Matthew Woolcock, and Andrew Maxwell. That's first, second, and third overall for the men. And can we get Jocelyn Spinelli, Sarah McGowan, and Corinne Reed? Are any of these people still here? If you are here, can you come up here? Oh, we got the pirate parrot coming to get an award too. Okay, come on up here on the stage. Come on, up here on the stage to recognize our winners. And the pirate parrot. Okay, these are our winners of the race today, and we congratulate them for being superstar athletes, as well as supporters of Pittsburgh Cure Sarcoma. We appreciate every single one of you, and thank you for coming out today. So we also have another special recognition here. If I could get Dr. Mark Goodman and Sue Soot to come up here. And anybody see Sue? Sue Soot? Sue, you promised you wouldn't go away. Okay. Here, I'm going to throw this down here. So in recognition, these two superstars on the stage are pretty much the reason that we're all here. As you probably are aware, in 2019, we decided to go on our own and become our own 501c3. That was only possible because we had the support of the gentleman standing next to me, Dr. Mark Goodman. He's the pioneer sarcoma surgeon in Pittsburgh. He also volunteered before he knew what he was getting himself into, and he chairs the board for Pittsburgh Cure Sarcoma. So it's been 4 years of a lot of dedication, a lot of hard work. But Mark, look what we did. It's pretty cool. So in recognition, can you hold this up? I'm facing them. So in recognition of your contribution, we have the first, which it's a limited edition, but we're going to do a special run of the Pittsburgh Cure Sarcoma golf shirt. And we hope that you wear that with pride.
Thank you.
So in addition, it wouldn't be... Okay, in addition, there would be no race. We would not be here today if it was not for Bill Suit, Sue Suit, the Suits, the support of their friends and their family, of all the friends they made at Hillman, and of course, the Shaler community that came out to support them for this. So we would not seriously be here if it was not for the Suits. And Sue, we made you one too. Okay. Yeah. And we thank Sue for all that she does. Even in her retirement, still comes back year after year, supports the race, and we're just grateful for all of them. So thank you both for all that you do. Okay. Now
And credit where credit is due. All of the Zoom calls are done by Darlene. Much of the background work for what went on today is done by Darlene. So I don't have a shirt for her because I didn't know about it, but we'll get her one. And I'd like you all to give Darlene a hand for what she does. Thank you.
Thank you. I get to wear the hat too, okay? Okay, we were going to have some comments real briefly from our sarcoma research team. Is Ben here? Okay, here we go. Okay.
Yeah. What an amazing event. My name's Ben Nacev. I'm a sarcoma medical oncologist, and I run a research lab at Hillman Cancer Center where we're focused on understanding what makes sarcomas go wrong and how we can build that knowledge into bringing new therapies to the clinic. I want to thank you all for putting on this amazing event. I'm new to Pittsburgh, so this is my first time here. And I'll say that the very first research funding my lab received upon starting at the University of Pittsburgh was from the Pittsburgh Cure Sarcoma Foundation. So I really appreciate all the support, and we're looking forward to building on that support to hopefully bring new treatments back to the clinic. So thank you very much. It's wonderful to be part of this community.
It's amazing to be here and see the support for this rare disease. And thank you so much for inviting us here and supporting us and making sure that we can do what we do. On a different note, if you see anybody with an orange hat, ask us what we do. Well, not the little one down here if you don't want to hear about Pokemon, but everybody else is part of the research team. Ask us what we do. We are happy to tell you.
So thanks, everybody. Thanks to all of you. The Musculoskeletal Oncology Tumor Registry and Tissue Bank continues to grow. It continues to be one of the greatest tissue and data repositories for sarcoma on the continent of North America. And it's all because of what you're doing here. It drives all the research we do here in the city. So thank you. And I'm tasked with telling the sarcoma survivors our pictures in 3 minutes. So if it's now. Sorry, it's now. If you are a sarcoma survivor, get your butt to the stage. Thank you. And thank you.
And thank you. Okay, once again, all sarcoma survivors, survivors, please report to the stage.